looked over my shoulder toward the entrance. I had to park halfway up the street. I, improvised. Charlotte's eyes opened wide in disbelief. You didn't. You know you're lucky you didn't get caught. This place has been crawling with hags lately. If they catch you using ley line magic in broad daylight where anyone can see it... I slid into the seat beside her. Don't worry, I was careful. I checked everywhere at least a dozen times before I used my wand. I promise, no one saw me. For someone who works in the legal profession, you sure like to live dangerously. The bar went silent, and Charlotte, who had a better view of the place from her seat, shot me a pointed look. Curious, I turned to see two hags making their way over to the bar. Years of unfiltered ley line magic had taken its toll on their skin, which was leathery and covered in warts. Wisps of hair protruded from the top of their heads and out of their ears. Their features drooped so pitifully it was hard to tell their sex. They were bereft of any kind of shape, and only their height hinted at what they once might have been. My heart stopped. Had they been watching after all? Had they come for me? In a shadowy corner of the bar, a hooded figure sat perfectly still, hunched over a half-full beer glass. Whoever it was, they were the only person not following the hags as they made their way toward Benny. When the hags were just a few feet away, the individual jumped from its bar stool and sprang up on the counter, running along the length of it. Glasses smashed and plates of food went flying as they made for the emergency exit on the other side of the bar. A bolt of white light flashed overhead, its tip wrapped around the neck of the escapee, who went down with a violent crash. Their hood down, Charlotte and I stared aghast as a female goblin writhed against her restraints, but to no use. The more she fought, the tighter the restraints held her. When the hags reached her, with a click of their gnarled fingers, the goblin rose from the ground, hovering in midair, her hands still grappling with the rope. The first hag turned to leave, and as she left, the goblin floated through the air behind her. The second surveyed the bar area, and with a similar click of their hand, chairs were uprighted and broken glasses mended until everything was put back to how it had been before. The hag bowed to Benny, and then followed her companion and captive to the exit. The door closed behind them, and only then did anyone dare breathe. Everyone began chattering at once, and order was restored. You know, that could have been you. Charlotte picked up her glass and stared at it thoughtfully. I buried my private fears and laughed. Oh, come on. They'd hardly do that for a parking violation. Charlotte shook her head. You never know. And in any case, have you looked closely at those hags? They weren't born like that. Unfiltered magic did that to them. It'll happen to you too if you're not careful. I laughed out loud. Oh, Charlotte, really? You know I do mostly earth magic. The plants pay the price, not me. In any case, I hardly ever use the ley lines. They're strictly for emergency use only. Like getting a parking place? Look, just be careful. You don't want to get old before your time. What did she do, the goblin? I asked, wanting to deflect the subject from me. No clue. Probably dealing in illegal love potions. There's been a lot of it about, I heard, and the hags are clamping down. I nodded. That'd do it. Charlotte shook her head indulgently, reminding me of Mom. Did you eat already? I was glad of the change of subject. I'd had enough talk of hags for one night. Yes, you? I had a little something before I left. She looked me up and down appraisingly. You know, I love what you did to your hair. Did you braid it yourself? I automatically reached for the intricate braids I'd conjured the night before, and I ran my fingers over them, checking to make sure everything was just as it should be and that the magic still held. 4 longer braids fell forward over my shoulders down to my boobs.